Once upon a time, in the quiet little town of Maplewood, there lived two inseparable best friends named Jack and Danny. Both had grown up as orphans with nothing to their names, no family, no fortune, no future handed to them. But they had each other, and that had always been enough. From the time they were boys, they did everything together, played in the meadows, chopped firewood at the edge of Graywood Forest, and herded mules along the dusty country roads. Jack was sharp-minded, calm, and perfectly content with whatever life offered him. Danny, on the other hand, had a hunger that never seemed to be satisfied. He always wanted more money, more food, more of everything. That greed had landed him in trouble more times than he could count, and every single time, Jack had pulled him out of it with a cool head and a clever plan. One crisp autumn morning, the two friends were chopping wood deep in Graywood Forest when the sound of thundering hooves broke the silence. Jack grabbed Danny's arm and pointed through the trees. Two rough-looking outlaws on horseback were riding fast down the trail, saddlebags bulging at the sides. "Danny, hide, now!" Jack whispered sharply. They ducked behind a thick oak and held their breath. The two outlaws, big men with scarred faces and dusty coats, rode up to an old mossy boulder near a cluster of wild bushes. One of the men shoved the boulder aside with his boot. Instantly, the bushes shifted to reveal the hidden mouth of a cave carved right into the hillside. The outlaws disappeared inside, then emerged minutes later, empty-handed. They repositioned the bushes, remounted their horses, and thundered off down the trail. Jack and Danny exchanged a wide-eyed look. "There's got to be stolen loot in that cave," Danny breathed, already moving toward it. "Stop!" Jack grabbed his arm. "Those men are dangerous. If they catch us, we're finished." "They're gone, Jack. Nobody for miles. Just a quick peek." Danny flashed his most persuasive grin. Jack sighed. He knew that look. Reluctantly, he followed. Inside the cave, the sight stole the air from their lungs. Mountains of gleaming gold coins, jeweled necklaces, sparkling diamonds, and silk-wrapped ornaments were piled high against the stone walls. The treasure of 100 robberies sat before them, glittering in the dim light. "We're rich," Danny whispered, his eyes going wide. "We're in danger," Jack corrected. "Listen to me. We don't take all of it. We don't even take a lot. 1 gold coin each, every day. Small enough that they'll never notice it's missing. We stay patient. We stay safe." Danny groaned, but eventually agreed. And so their quiet little arrangement began. Each morning, They'd wait for the outlaws to ride off, slip inside, pocket 1 coin each, and disappear back into the trees. Day by day, their small savings grew. Life slowly began to look brighter, but greed doesn't sleep for long. After about 2 weeks, Danny's patience ran dry. He wanted it all, and he wanted it now. So one morning, he arrived at their usual meeting spot with his old mule, Biscuit, loaded with empty saddlebags. "Danny, why did you bring Biscuit?" Jack asked, suspicious immediately. "My back's been hurting," Danny said, looking away. "Just in case," Jack frowned. "If your back's that bad, we shouldn't go in at all. Let's wait until you're better." "I'll be fine. Let's just go." The outlaws arrived, unloaded a massive new haul from a fresh robbery, and rode away. The moment they vanished, Danny bolted into the cave and started stuffing the saddlebags with fistfuls of gold coins, gems, and jeweled rings. "Danny, stop!" Jack hissed. "This isn't the plan." "The plan's too slow," Danny snapped, his hands moving faster. 1 coin a day. We could be rich today. Help me load this." Jack shook his head. "This is wrong. This is dangerous. I'm taking my 1 coin and waiting outside." Jack stepped out, heart hammering. Danny kept loading until poor old Biscuit could barely stand under the weight. Triumphant and grinning, Danny led the mule out of the cave, and Biscuit took about 30 steps before her legs buckled and she sat down hard in the middle of the path and refused to move. "Get up, Biscuit! Come on!" Danny shoved, pulled, pleaded. Nothing worked. Jack appeared around the bend. "Leave the treasure, Danny. Just run. Your life is worth more." "I'm not leaving it." "Fine." Jack's voice went cold with worry. "I'll go get my mule to help carry some of it. Stay here and stay hidden." He ran back through the trees. He hadn't been gone 10 minutes when the outlaws returned. One of them had forgotten his water flask. They stormed into the cave, took one look at the emptied shelves, and roared with fury. Then one of them spotted mule tracks in the soft mud outside. "Someone stole from us! Follow those tracks!" They rode hard and fast, and within minutes they found Danny, kneeling beside a frozen mule, surrounded by stolen treasure, with nowhere to run. "So you're the thief!" The lead outlaw's voice was ice cold. "Please, I'm sorry. I made a mistake." "Sorry doesn't cut it." They bound Danny's hands and dragged him back to the cave, locking him inside in the dark. He sat alone in the cold, his heart sinking through the stone floor. He thought of Jack. He thought of every warning he'd ignored. He thought of how simple and safe their one-coin plan had been. I had everything I needed, and I threw it away for more. Jack returned to find Danny gone and the mule abandoned. His stomach dropped, but his mind stayed clear. They have him, but I'll get him back. The next morning, Jack staked out the cave from the tree line. The moment both outlaws rode off together, he sprinted inside, found Danny tied in the back corner, cut the ropes with his pocket knife, and the two friends ran, fast and light and free, back through Graywood Forest without a single coin between them. They collapsed together in the meadow, gasping and laughing with relief. "I'm sorry, Jack," Danny finally said, staring at the sky. "You were right. Every single time, you were right." "You're safe," Jack said simply. "That's what matters." Danny was quiet for a long moment. Then, "I don't want the coins anymore. I don't want any of it." Jack smiled. "Good. Because we already have the thing that's worth the most." Danny looked at him. "What's that?" Jack clapped him on the shoulder. "Each other, you dummy!" And the two friends walked home through the golden afternoon, poorer in coin and richer in wisdom than they had ever been before. The end. Greed blinds us to what we already have. True wealth is found in friendship, contentment, and knowing when enough is enough.